Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Xah Talk Show. Today we are going to talk about randomish. I'm going to tell you what have I been doing in the past week update. It's going to be mostly about Wolfram language, mathematics, geometry, plane tiling, and plane curves. So that's one thing. And the other thing is emacs, Xah Fly Keys. A new set of keys for org-mod, so you don't have to press Control Meta in org-mod. Okay, so let me show you. So this is my keyboard, Kinesis 360 and Ultimate Hacking Keyboard. They are fantastic. Okay, I recommend you go buy it. Okay, let me show you my keyboard. Just search for Xah Keyboard blog. Ergonomic keyboards, so I recommend Glove 80, Kinesis 360, and Expose Night, and Ultimate Hacking. Okay, these four I recommend. If you know, two videos ago, I did a video on this fantastic input device called svalboard data hand. So I highly recommend you check it out. On my page, you have video reviews of all the keyboards I showed. Okay, so that's about keyboard. Now let's get on to Emacs and Wolfram language. Okay, copy that. Let me post the link here so we know we have a record of what we talked about. So this is Xah Talk Show today. Hello guys, source. If you are here, say hi. Okay. If you have questions, ask me. This is the right time. Hello, Infinity. Hello, Xah. I love what you are doing. Great work. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Reminder, donate, okay? Donate is actual good thing. Donate money. Okay, so so today we're gonna talk about Wolfram language and Emacs. So let's talk about Emacs first, because that's more kind of popular. Xah Fly Keys is one of my most popular package. It allows you to use Emacs without pressing any Control, Meta, Alt, or keys or window keys. So you can go, just search for Xah Fly Keys. There is a dedicated video for it. So there's photos, there's a dedicated video, 30 minutes or so, talking about Xah Fly Keys. So basically it's a key binding for Emacs, so you can see, so you don't have to press Control C, Control something in Meta. So it's all modal, it's just like Vim or VI, but the key binding choices, which command correspond to which key, is designed by the frequency of the command and ease of the key. So the most frequent commands, the most used, have the most easy keys. It's a modal key binding system, Xah Fly Keys, okay? And on the pink window, you can see all my command calls and keystrokes as I type. So you can see on the pink window, you can see the command names and the keystroke. I'm using Xah Fly Keys and Vorak keyboard layout. Okay, so today so the main thing I want to say is that I added a customization section for org-mod. So you can just click on Xah Fly Keys customization and go to the bottom, set up keys for major mod. So go there. So I give you instructions on how do you do it. In Emacs, you have the concept of major mod, such as programming languages, diode, or the add, show directories, or programming languages, for example, in Emacs, for example, here's the Emacs code, or Python, JavaScript, Golang, Rust, whatever. And and one of them is org-mod. Org-mod is a special mod for allows you to take notes, have outline feature. So for example, there's a lot of updates. So let me show you org-mod. For example, there's an org-mod introduction on on my website tutorial, orgmod introduction, orgmod as a markup, what is orgmod, how do you start it, orgmod as a outline feature, so you can have headings, subheadings, you can hide the content, just show the headings, or you can move the section around the chapters or sections. So orgmod and the keys for orgmod and the keys for orgmod and the cheat sheet. Orgmod is just like Markdown and so many others. It's a part of it. Part of orgmod is a markup system, so you can have, you type special characters to have headings and bold, italic, underline, or ordered list, unordered list, and link, images, and date timestamp, and code, So that's tutorial about orgmod. So what is it? So the new thing I did is that Xah Fly Keys customization for orgmod. So you can see here, set up orgmod keys for Xah Fly Keys. So you just copy this entire thing. It contains all keys of orgmod. So you put this code in your emacs init. Then when you use orgmod, you don't have to press Control C, hold down Control something, So there are about, I don't know how many commands are there. Orgmod, so many orgmod. So let's see. So let's have a look. Okay, pop it out. So there are about 180 commands in orgmod. Each one has a key, so fairly complex. 180 keyboard shortcuts. So now you don't have to press Control anymore. You can use it, and you can customize it. Once the code is pretty simple, so I haven't put any effort to design the key binding such that the most frequently used orgmod commands have the most easy keys. That will take time. I'm not much of an orgmod user. So, but if you do, I know a lot of people do use orgmod. So if you do use orgmod, and if you do use Xah Fly Keys, you can, put this in your init, start to use it, and gradually as you use it, you can reorganize, adjust the keys. So the most frequently used orgmod commands have the most easy keys. Okay, and if you did that, seriously, let me know. I'll update the page. I was thinking of putting this on GitHub so we can have some kind of collaborative thing. But usually that's not good because, the open source mentality, once you put out there, then people is like, then you became tech support, and you became, argument with people who got nothing to do. They're gonna argue, oh, this should be that, it should be that, or tech support. They ask you a question, why is this, and which usually no benefit to me. They don't donate or anything. So anyway, so there it is. That's about emacs Xah Fly Keys for orgmod. So next topic, let's talk about the Wolfram language. Okay, so Xah Fly Keys show, today's talk show. So I want to tell you about Wolfram language. Now, before we do that, there's something a bit more about Emacs. So go to Emacs, go to blog. There's a huge amount of minor updates I did in the past week. So for example, this entire section is about how to efficiently edit Emacs Lisp code. So for example, you want to turn on highlight paren, the how-to information is all here, highlight paren, and how to automatic insert closing bracket. There's intricacies, many details. And you can also use this command, which is a bit better than the default, than the electric pair mod. And so insert brackets, then you also have delete bracket by pair. So you always insert brackets by pair and delete them by pair. That will get rid of the issue of unmatched paren. That's often the case. So my recommendation is that whenever you code in a programming language whose syntax is based on nested structure, such as Lisp parentheses or HTML, HTML is also nested structure syntax. So in any of these language, you always want to insert the tag pairs or parentheses together in pair, okay? So they are always matched. And also when you delete them, for example, show in browser, let's say I want to delete, this, so I just go, you see this is a unordered list. So I just put the cursor here, press one key, that unordered list is gone. Or undo, I can just remove this single item. Go to browser, refresh, you see, undo, go to browser. So yeah, I recommend you always use matched, delete matched pair by together. And lots of update. How do you move cursor to bracket? What's the most efficient way? How do you jump to a matching bracket? The most efficient way. All these are, it's like my 10 years experience. You can buy it or you can not buy it. You can use, for example, paredit, which is a mod I don't like. I despise. I think it's inferior. But that's a mod gets a lot Emacs fanatics excited. Paredit. In fact, I have an article on why do I not like paredit. And you can compare yourself. If you are Xah Fly Keys user and you read these articles, almost all of them are part of Xah Fly Keys. So you can compare yourself. You use the Xah Fly Keys system to work on Lisp code. Then maybe you came from paredit. So you can use a paredit way. They usually have control something. You can compare the efficiency and you can make a judgment yourself. Okay, so that's so besides these updates, let's go back to Emacs blog. So there's a huge amount of updates. I added the visual section box, so you can see each section has a gray box. I talked about this in my last video too, where we wrote this Emacs Lisp code to add this section box in real time. So lots of update. Okay, so that's update about my Emacs blog. Okay, now let's talk about Wolfram language and mathematics geometry. So let me just show you. Okay, so let's go to let's show you some pretty graphics right away. Okay, then I'm gonna read the comments so this is a package. This is plain tiling, fantastic and beautiful. See, so this package can do all these varieties of tilings, okay, or random star patterns. And then this plane curve package, also beautiful. All things about plane curve, mathematics, geometry. And both of them are now free on GitHub. So, okay, so I'm gonna talk about that, but let me read the comments first. Xah Source says, Xah, you are ergonomic guru. I have given up on control key combos. That's great. Levon says, hello Xah, do you still have hand pain regularly? Not anymore. I'm glad to say. I'm very glad. Oh yeah. So if you go to my keyboard blog, I have lots of, tens of articles. The whole keyboard blog. By now there are over 1,000 articles. Over 1,000 articles just on keyboard alone. Keyboard, mouse, RSI, ergonomics, how should you type, what is the best layout, and what's the best keyboard, what's the best ergonomic keyboard. what's the best trackball or mouse, and what are some of the weird, trackball controller, which you don't see, they are not around. Best layout and keyboard design. So layout is one thing. You have QWERTY, Vorak, and all that. Then you have keybinding layout. Keybinding layout design. How do you judge efficiency? For example, Vim has, HJKL. Is it better or is it worse than IJKL? You study all these issues. The gamers have WASD, and Vim, so lots of issues about designing of the shortcut layout. So you not just have letter key layout. Let's see. These are letter key layout. QWERTY, Vorak, they are about arrangement of letter keys on your keyboard. Which one is the most efficient? What does how big a difference does it matter? Lots of issues. But let's talk about it. So the letter layout is everyone is talking about it, all the programmers. But let's talk about is the key binding design. In other words, it's a shortcut layout. What is, for example, in Emacs, you have over 100. For example, in Emacs, you have over 100 keys. So so how do you? So you just say, you call the command describe key, chk, okay? So you can see, not this one. Let's see, how do I show all the keys? Okay, so you type chb. What is the command? Describe bindings, okay? So you meta-x describe bindings. Okay, let's try. Describe bindings, okay? Control HB. So you can see Emacs has 3,000 key bindings by default. Basically 3,000. So I have an article that went through the entire 3,000 key bindings. Many of them are repetitions, actually. Anyway, so I have an article. If you just search for on my Emacs, on my xahly.info Emacs section, you can search for it. You will find. So I went through each and every of these keys and commands and look at what they are. Have an overview what they are. Why do you have 3,000? Which one is like used or what? Most people don't know it. Lots of them are kind of historical too, but I would say there are about 300 commands that's actually used. Some of them are less used, like once a month, occasionally, but about 300 is approximately right. 200 or 300 keyboard shortcuts in Emacs that's commonly used. Okay, so in Photoshop you have lots of keys. In Second Life is a virtual world. You have like a few hundred keyboard shortcuts. So, and in video audio editors you have then tons of keyboard shortcuts. So keyboard shortcuts are important. In fact, keyboard shortcuts are one of the primary cause of RSI, repetitive strain injury. Why? Mostly because you have to hold Control Alt, hold something, type something, then release that key, then release the modifier. That is one of the major part of cause of RSI. Okay, that particular thing. Not typing. Well, typing too, but the key chord or key combination that is a major cause. Okay, I talked about this many times, but so I wanted to answer your question about do I still have RSI? No, because I'm pretty happy about it because for example, there's an article, Xah's typing experience and repetitive strain injury. This is a record from, so I started typing in 1988, 35 years ago, when I was 17, on an electric typewriter. Then 1992, I worked as a data entry clerk. 1994, I learned Dvorak layout because I'm an efficiency nerd. So I read about it. I love typing for some reason, or piano. So I learned about Dvorak, and to me, I'm a very big nerd on design. So to me, I cannot accept the QWERTY, the inefficient system that somehow, for historical reasons, that just became the common, the standard. So I started to learn Dvorak in 1994, and so far I don't have RSI at all. So the first 15 years, the first 17 years of my typing, I type every day, but I don't have a problem with hand pen at all. Although I read about it a lot, but until 2006, 2005, I started to have discomfort, and that is because I use a laptop keyboard at all times. Then I started to have RSI about every 2 or 3 years of different causes. RSI is very strange. So anyways, the last one, let me show you just the last one. That's this one, okay? You see I put a Salon Pass over here. It's a kind of permanent damage, okay? This one has troubled me for like 3 years, but not today. You know why? That's why I've been telling you guys, get a linear light switch. You want a mechanical keyboard, first of all, go run and buy it now. And you want a linear light switch, less than 45 grams of force, or even less, 35, okay? So if you go to my keyboard blog, I have full detail, like more detail than you wanted to know, so you can read about it. So this problem, this right here. In fact, I have these balls so that they function as a hammer to massage my arm. So this problem bugged me for 3 years, but not today. Linear light switch, okay, that's important. So I'm very glad that issue is over. But there's lingering, issues, because once you have RSI, usually it's kind of permanent. I mean, it's kind of permanent. I mean, it's not as good as new, even if you recovered from it. So for you young people, you might think, oh, I am not going to have a problem. Well, I just use normal keyboard. Maybe they have a problem. I heard that guy Xah has a problem, but I'm not gonna have a problem. You are wrong, because for the first 15 years, I don't have a problem at all. And on Emacs, I started to use Emacs in 1998. So for the first 6 years, I use Emacs. I use the default. I don't rebind keys or init, diddling with it. No, just default. And I use terminal. Okay, I use Emacs in terminal for the first 6 years. Let's see. Emacs. Okay, so no Windows system. You see, this is Emacs in terminal, fantastic. And Xah Fly Keys work it. What? Fatal error occurred. What? There's a bug. Fatal error occurred. No. Why is that? Oh, this is new. Let's try again. Emacs, no Windows system. Okay. Go to my blog. There's something odd. I'm not sure what's going on. Fatal error. So, that's interesting. But anyway, first 6 years I use Emacs in terminal. only, and I use no special key binding, just the default emacs with Vorag though. So anyway, that answers your question. So several other questions. Okay, I wanted to start to talk about Wolfram language. Okay, so let me quickly answer some of the questions. Hey Xah, when you going to show us more about svalboard? Okay, svalboard. I'm in love with it. Okay, so I will show it for certain, but I'm kind of slow. So there's a lot to explore with svalboard. So maybe in 2 or 3 weeks, okay, I'll do a video. I will continue to do probably regularly do videos, and maybe after 3 months I'll be using it, as my main. But there's a tremendous amount of things to do with this device. Okay. Is the Kinesis 360 backlit? So Kinesis 360, there are 2 versions. Okay, so go to keyboard. Kinesis 360, there are 2 versions. One is wired USB. The other version is Kinesis 360 Pro. That version is wireless, Bluetooth. Okay. And that version has backlit, okay, but not the Pro. I mean, not the USB version. But actually, I recommend the USB version. Backlit is not that useful, okay? Backlit is like useless. The colors on the keyboard, that's like 99% useless. It's created, it's promoted by the gamers. Team know nothing else, because color, shiny. Usually, the cheaper the keyboard, the more shiny and color, so useless. However, there's some extremely use for the backlight color. For example, on this ultimate hacking keyboard, you see they have a different color. The different color indicates different functionality. For example, this. So the red ones, you see, they are remapped. So for example, I press one of the red key. For example, this one is remapped to Control W, so it closes the current tab. Okay, let me show you. I press that, close the current tab. I want to reopen it, I press this one, which is Control Shift T. Okay, you see, close it, reopen it, previous, next tab, you see. So those are the red ones, that's key remap. The white colored ones are they are just the normal keys. So for example, this one is actually F1. But why does F1 do that? That's because I have power toys. So I have a power toys that remaps F1 to do. Okay, here's a little bit complexity, but let me tell you the story, the art of key binding, and why is it so complex? So this key on the ultimate hacking keyboard is programmed to be F1. So first of all, let me show you that. Ultimate hacking keyboard, the best programmable keypad software. Okay, so you can see, you see there, you can see F1. Now when I press F1, it toggles the window size. So if the window is not maximized, it calls maximize window. If the window is maximized, it calls normalized, window. Okay. The idiotic Windows 11, Windows 10 don't have a toggle window size. Instead, you have, for example, Alt space. So you can see you have minimize and maximize, but you don't have toggle. So maximize is Windows up arrow. Let me try that again. Windows is here. You see. but there's no toggle. So if you want to restore, you have window, press window and down arrow. So each time you have to know what state you are in, then choose the right key. So that's idiotic. You want a single key that toggles, you see, like I do now. So I have this Power Toys. So let me show you. Power Toys is a tool for Microsoft Keyboard Manager. So you can see, where is it? Keyboard Manager. Let me show you. Okay, so it's not in Power Toys. a bit complex. So, but I have this auto hotkey. So I have to show you. Okay. There is a auto hotkey script called toggle maximize window. So this script will get the current state of the window, then determine whether to maximize or restore, you see, and it's mapped to F1, you see. So that's why I have this. So what was the question? And yeah, so I was explaining the key coloring. Okay, so that's this key. Then, so let's see what else. Okay, that's about that. For example, I have an article on that. So you go to keyboard, showing block, and search for color. So there's a recent article, keyboard light color by functional category. Open it. So you can see I explained this situation. You have blue, you have green. So green are standard modifiers, for example. So this is the case when they actually make the color of the keys useful. Okay, but for most scammer, they are idiot. Oh, ching, thank you, Max darling, thank you. Let's answer Max's question. I've been a fan in past 2 years and finally switched to emacs and having a lot of fun writing emacs. Thank you. Your site and streams have been invaluable. Thank you. Cool. Okay, so let's see next backlight, how to touch type. Can mouse or touchpad give you RSI? Yes, very much so. So RSI came from many different diverse causes, and different people have different issue. Some people are posture, some people are the habit of ways of typing, and also very much dependent on what exact keyboard you have, because the keyboard, they dictate how you press them. You develop certain habits. So again, I have like so much articles written about it, so you can just search. I can actually find and show you, but then the talk show is gonna be endless. So one thing I want to say, so for some people it's a mouse, okay. For some people it's the mouse hand, and how do you deal with that? There's an article for that. Okay, so for example, best mouse for programmers, how to avoid mouse hand pain. Some people it's a mouse severe, so you can for example, you can try your left hand, or put two mouse, so you use either hand alternatively, or you can buy a trackpad or trackball, or you can use, now I have so many devices, you can buy this pen input, which is fantastic, but the problem with the pen is that every time you want to use it, you have to pick up the pen, and anyway, so there are so many issues and there are many solutions. For example, one of the best solution for mouse is that I don't click I almost never click. So if I want to switch window, what do? Do I control tab and look? Oh, I want this one. Oh, mistake. Press shift, hold it down. Oh, fucking idiot. Okay, that's the idiot. So if I want to switch to previous window, just that. Okay, but mostly here, you turn on hover click, or sometimes they call trail. Okay, this feature is available on Windows, on Mac, and on Linux. I have articles for each one of them, how to do it. Okay, just search for Xah, hover click. Okay, for example, I want to switch windows, so I move my mouse there. Can you see my mouse? No, let's show the mouse. But then you cannot see my windows. Okay. Okay, and let's try this. Okay, there is my mouse. So I move the mouse here, no click. So let's put my hand here so you see. I showed this many times in my past video. So this is how I switch windows. Incredible! You don't click anymore, no click. But on Windows, they don't have actually hover click. They have hover to switch window, but they don't have hover click. So if you want to select this, you still have to click. But this thing already saved you like 50% of the keyboard click. And besides, let me show you another thing. When we talk about keyboard, I'm gonna be endless. Okay, for example, so a key here. Now you cannot see it. You see, this is my left part of the Ultimate Hacking keyboard. So I can, so this key is mouse click. Okay, now let's switch back. Can you see? Yeah, you cannot see. So this key. Okay, so for example, I click. You see, let's see. I move the mouse here. Okay, then click. You see, so all these are ways to reduce the possibility of hand pen with the mouse. And you can also try trackball. Keypad is fantastic. Keypad saves you a lot of shortcuts. You can, and then for the mouse, I have the spin wheel. You see, I can just spin it. For example, I go here, then I just spin it. My hands are here. See, fantastic, especially if you browse Twitter and stuff. So anyway, what are we talking about? Yeah, ways to avoid mouse problems. A lot of people have mouse problems, so you can get a mouse recommendations, lots of articles. These three I recommend. Okay. Well, depending on the person. So if you really have mouse pen, you can also get vertical mouse. That helps. They come in many forms. And then trackball. Yes, of course. Trackball is also great. Anyway, so lots of details. So let's see next. Okay. Now let's talk about Wolfram language for 15 minutes, and that's it for today. Okay, it's 1 hour today. Wolfram language, yeah. So let me just quickly tell you about Wolfram language. So I wrote this package around. So these plane curves I wrote around 1993 actually. That got me a job at Wolfram Research. So in the past month, I've been updating the code, 30 years of language changes and so on. So fantastic. So now it's up. You can download it on GitHub. Okay, so let's go to GitHub. It's actually here. So you can see my Xah GitHub plane curve plot. It's free there. Okay, so GitHub. So let me just show you some pictures. tangent, so you can plot tangent. So this is useful if you are a college student or high school and you are interested in mathematics, or if you want to be a mathematician, or if you are a programmer but you have some, you don't know much about math, you want to pick up. So plane curves, there's tremendous very much a lot of interesting things. So this package does illustration that makes visualization of plane curve properties. It makes theorems or concepts easy to understand. By a glance, you can understand, oh, that's what it means, okay? So for example, tangent, what is a tangent? That's this line, that's this line. At that point, this line is a tangent to this sine curve, and also this line, that's a concept of tangent. And what is this one? Beautiful, but but what is it? Okay, this is called normals. So what is a normal to a point on a curve? It's like tangent, but except, so a normal line to a point on the curve is the line that's perpendicular to the tangent and also passing this point. So the tangent line would be like that over here, so straight. So for this, the normal line, okay? So for this tangent line, the normal would be there. So it's a perpendicular line to the tangent, okay? So in this, you can see we have a parabola, and you have all the normals drawn. So it forms this. So when you draw all the normal lines on this parabola, you see it forms this thing. And that thing, that curve is called seesaw, okay? Very interesting. So parabola, you draw the normals, and it forms this shape, okay? In math jargon, that's called the envelope of the lines, okay? Or in another jargon is that you say the envelope of the pencils of the normals. Pencil, pencil, like the word pencil, but in math it has a special meaning in projective geometry and in differential geometry. So basically, it's a concept. So many of these normal lines forms kind of the shape that's called the envelope of these lines. So the envelope of these lines is this curve. This curve is called seesawoid, and itself has many properties. It was used 2,000 years ago by the Greeks to solve one of the trisection of the angle problem. Anyway, that's another big topic. So in this picture, for example, you see all the normal lines to an asteroid. Okay, so there's so many endless. So here you see the normals, the envelope of normals of a ellipse. Okay, and here you see secant lines. Okay, and secant lines, they are very useful to show what's called string art. So this is an example of string art, which is a cultural art form in, Europe. Basically, you take a wooden board, you draw some curves on it, you pike nails into it, then you wrap strings around it. It forms these beautiful pictures. Okay, and this one, for example, is caustic. So this is a parabola. Parabola curve has a special property, optical property. That is, if you have a specific point on the plane there, and you shine a light, suppose that's a light source, then it will reflect off the curve to form lines in one direction. So this is the principle of car headlight or parabolic dishes, radio, dishes, That's a principle, parabola, okay? The optical property called caustics, okay? And so many more, okay? So for example, this one is the exponential curve, and the caustics of the exponential curve, you get this curve, which is a catenary, okay? You see the envelope of this forms a catenary. So what is a catenary? Catenary is, let me talk about this. You know about St. Louis arc. There it is, gateway to heaven. Oh no, gateway arch, okay? So this is a giant, huge arch in St. Louis, USA. That's a catenary. So what's special about it? Well, that's, so let's go back. Press, yeah. So you see, that's a catenary, but inverted upside down. So what's special about catenary? Catenary is the curve when, if you have a chain, you hand the chain around 2 points. Am I still doing good? You hand the chain around 2 points. Let's see, yeah, good. So you hand the chain around 2 points. The chain will form a curve. That's not parabola, okay? That is catenary. That's this one. You see, so many properties. So you see, a exponential curve is this one. That's e raised to x, okay? E is the, the natural base of logarithm. That's another interesting topic. So all this is part of calculus. Interesting, very interesting things you don't usually see in a calculus course. So you have an exponential curve. Now, what is special about exponential curve? Well, it is the function whose derivative is itself. Amazing. Is that amazing? That's this blue curve, okay? Now, if you shine a light from top, then they reflect, they will form a catenary, which is a curve where if you have a chain or necklace or string, you hang it, that shape is catenary, okay? Not parabola. You see, they looks like parabola, but it's actually different. So catenary. Okay, so many, and this one is the optical property of ellipse. So you have, for example, you have a billiard table, American game, billiard or snookers. But you have, you sometimes, so billiard, the interesting thing about the billiard game is that you bounce the ball off the table, right? So you have to think about how it's gonna bounce and where it's gonna go. And one of the interesting billiard table shape is elliptical like this. In fact, someone has built it. So let me show you. All these are like old math topic, like recreational. So if you are into math, you probably have heard of it. But if you are not, here's an interesting thing. There's there's even YouTube, for example. They build this special table. So why is it this? For example, let's see. Can you? So why is this interesting? Because if you have a pool table shaped like that, the reflection, if one of the balls is on the focus on a specific point, it will always go to the other specific point. That's called the focus of the ellipse, okay? So anyway, then you have light refraction properties on a hyperbola, okay? Light refraction. Then you have this thing you will see in a cup, okay? So did you guys drink coffee yet? So you drink coffee, good morning, and then you put it under sunlight, you'll see that shape. Can we see it actually? let's show it here. Can you see it? No, not really. Well, okay, so anyway, so you go out, you'll see it. So actually, I have taken photos of that. So this is you can find special dictionary of dictionary of special plane curves. Okay, that's my website. That's my earliest project. So this website explains all these things. So we want to go to caustics and cardioid. Okay, so which is here, there it is. Okay, go to cardioid. This curve is called cardioid. Why is it called cardioid? What does it mean? Cardioid means the heart-shaped. Okay. So it's invented by 1674 studied by this guy, Ole Romer, and blah, blah, blah. And you can generate this curve by rolling a curve on another, rolling a circle on another. So many special, interesting properties, okay? But right now we are focused on this one, which is, I have a photo of it somewhere. What? Where's my photo? Actual photo, I mean. Wait, maybe here. There it is, okay? So you can see a cup, with that shape. Okay, so I think maybe that's it for today. I've been talking, this this is so long. So anyway, this package is now available on GitHub free. Now the other package I wrote this one in 1998. This one is more ambitious. This one is more complex than my plane curves. So this one allows you to draw any periodic patterns in a plane. Okay. So for example, you can design Islamic patterns. Okay. It generates all possible symmetric periodic tiling, all the possible wallpaper patterns. Okay. So this package is also now available on GitHub. You can download. So that's, I worked in past month to update this code. 30 years, very interesting. 30 years code. So let's show the code, okay? Let me show you some of the code. For example, plane tiling. Okay, go to plane tiling. So for example, this, let's show, so let's show, for example, let's show you some, start Wolfram language, load the package, in fact, select all, run them all. So this page, this file is testing the functions that generates a lattice. Okay, lattice is kind of a regular grid pattern. Okay, so you have square lattice, lots of math formulas, and in fact you can make it, typeset. So test the rotation. Let's run it. For example, you can rotate the lattice. And let's make this typeset. You see, fantastic. And one of the great thing about Wolfram language, you see, automatic smart formatting. Unlike the Python, the JavaScript, the TypeScript, the Golang, the C, and the C++ idiot. They say, oh, you have to format your code. You need a tab here. How many tab? Tab versus space. Configuration. Emacs init. I need to configure my tabs. This is idiots. Okay, and coding convention style guide, blah blah blah. this feature in Wolfram language, automatic auto formatting in real time, and not just code. Okay, so you can auto format code too. For example, here you see I adjust, you see, smartly, they show there's no indent here, but however they indent, it's like it's a rendering just like HTML browser. It renders a given text smartly without you actually insert any tab or any return. Okay, so you see, but Wolfram language has this feature starting in 1998. Okay, Wolfram language Mathematica version 3, 1998. And then not just plain ASCII code, but it will format this complicated typeset code. Now observe carefully. For example, let's look at this part. Okay, observe carefully. Where does it insert a indent or return? You see, it's smart. You see this. For example, let's look at this unit, syntactical unit. You see, it cut them in appropriate places. You see. Now this feature is back in 1998. Okay, so I'm a Wolfram language coder, so I know about this. I love it. But every time I talk, I try to express this to programmers. For example, the Perl people, the Lisp people, especially Lisp, Jesus. I try to convey them. Hey, you can. Why don't we stop worrying about coding? Coding convention, coding style guide, the tab versus space. Why don't we can, it's possible to make this. I try to tell them. They don't understand. They're gonna say, you are a troll, you are an idiot. No, that's idiot. You must have, if lines are too long, it's unreadable. Fucking extreme idiot. So I try to talk to, convey this idea to these programmers in Perl, in Python, in Python is especially idiotic because they baked the syntax with indentation into the semantics of the language. Okay, so I talk to them. These they don't understand. They don't listen. Then they deny. They attack me. Well, I don't say things in the most polite way, so they attack me. But to this day, but it's getting better because 10 years ago, Golang started this Go format, which automatically formats. So you don't have to manually, or argue about formatting style anymore. At least it's automatic. One single way of format, Golang, starting with Golang. Then it spread to other languages. Okay, so right today you have that in Python, in JavaScript, and I have an article for each one, how to do it, and integration with Emacs. Just search for example, Xah Emacs format. Okay, I have you'll probably find, so format code. Okay, so for example, format Python code. So this is the code in Emacs Lisp you can put to your init. So that will allow you to, when you code Python in Emacs, you press one single button, you'll format your whole buffer. Okay, you don't have to manually do each line. And you need the Python auto format code. So here's another tutorial talking about the auto format code software you can install, how to use them. So then you have also JavaScript. I show you the JavaScript and integration with Emacs and Golang. Golang started. Golang is fantastic. And there's also a version with PowerShell. Okay, so auto format. Back to Wolfram language. You see this. So that's why this is one of the reasons. Wolfram language is not open source. You have to pay. And yeah, okay, so let me show you guys. So you can download it for free these days. So you go to Xah Wolfram language tutorial. You can download it for free. You can read about what's the differences, Wolfram engine, Wolfram script, Mathematica, and you can download it for free, at least for non-commercial use, for if you just want to play with it. So that's why I say Wolfram language is just this incredible design. And why is it so good? Well, because the Stephen Wolfram guy, he's one of these cocky guy who's got a vision for the world, fundamental theorem, like the ultimate theorem for physics and stuff. Anyway, he's got vision. So he coded Wolfram language, 30 in 1988. Okay. So he tightly control, he's got vision, like he's got so-called strong opinions on everything. So he want his system to be just this way. And it's very good. Okay, so you got this auto formatting feature, It's just incredible. So is there any other editor that has this auto formatting feature? Now let's forget about this typeset. Maybe you'll say, oh, that's special for mathematics. But is there even a normal, just like ASCII code that support this auto format? Is there editor? As far as I know, I don't think so. Can you guys tell me? Have you guys seen? Is that puzzling? Is it puzzling? I mean, you can do this, right? Today we have AI and, all that. And Wolfram language did this 25 years ago. Okay, but why is it in the industry, the C++, the Java, the Microsoft, the VS Code, why didn't they do this? And it's open source, right? It's a great, oh my God, the greatest programmers, open source. How come we don't have this? Okay, that's what I want to say. There's, there's some issues in the world that's, when you think about it, it's kind of strange. So anyway, I'm showing you some of the examples. So this part is generating lattices. Okay, it's different. Lattice is basically regular points on a plane. This code, and then, so for example, here's a fancy one. It's kind of a hexagonal lattice, but actually they don't. Technically, this one is not called lattice. Lattice has a specific meaning in mathematics. This one is more of a vertex of a regular tiling, not a lattice. But for it to be a lattice in a mathematical group theory sense, it needs to be, in a plane, it needs to be generated by just two vectors. So for example, so that's not a lattice. This is a lattice, okay? This is a triangular lattice generated by two vectors. But this is not, but it's kind of regular. I think you can call it, it's one of the, you can call it, it's a vertex of Archimedean, regular Archimedean tiling. I think that's a technical name. But anyway, back then, I was coding this. So, I mean, if I'm going to redo this, I would have to rename this. So I call this star lattice, but it's actually technically it's not a lattice. But anyway, the point is that you have these regular grid coordinates in a plane. Then you can map a figure to it. It generates different tilings. Okay, am I getting boring? Let me show you Wolfram language tutorial, and close that. Yeah, so I want to show you some of the things. Test. Okay, so yeah, let's open this. Okay, so this is documentation you can get from, it's on GitHub. So it just show you what this package does. Okay, I think that's it for today. Hi, Xah, I know you all talked about and written a lot about good fonts, but what fonts are you using currently in Emacs? Okay, yeah, I talked about that a lot. So let me just answer your question simply. Okay, so let me show you this first. So this is what this package do. It can generate any regular patterns in the plane. For example, this one just generate a random wallpaper. Okay, so random color. And here's another example. So lattice we talked about, and okay, that's it. So this is on GitHub free. Okay, so get it. So then you have star patterns. Let me show you the star patterns. Then I'm gonna quickly tell you about the font. What's the best font? Okay, so you see, so this generates star motifs. Okay, some example. So you map these to the lattices, then you generate all sort of beautiful pictures. I mean tilings. Okay, so that's that. So about fonts, I talked about many times. So the best way is actually just go to, so we go to Xah Visual CSS and go to the font section, font family. Okay, font family, that's one of the CSS properties. You have these ways. Then common web fonts, these are fonts that's available on Windows and Mac, and And then the one I want to say is metrically compatible fonts. This is a very important concept. So the question about which is the best font for programming, so my recommendation is that you use the default on Windows and on the Mac. Okay, so on Windows, the default font for the terminal is Consolas. Okay, that's the best. In fact, so for example, xahli.info. Let me show you articles about font. Xahli search font. So there's an article. So there are 50 articles containing the word font. Just search for the best. So best Unicode font for programmer. That's a dedicated article to answer that question. Okay, so and what is my criteria? How do I judge? What is your criteria for best font? Why do you claim it? So I show them here. And so for the font, on Microsoft, just use the default. That's the best. After all these study, after the past 10 years, today, different year, the best changes. Okay, so today, if you are on Windows, the best font is just the Microsoft Consola, the built-in, the default. Okay, don't fiddle. Okay, just use that. Now, if you are the type, you are a thinker, you want to know why, then you can read, my tens of articles. If you are on Mac, the best font is Menlo. Okay, also built-in. Just use that. No fiddle, and it's the best of all criterias. On the average, that is just score the highest. Okay. On Linux, I would recommend Deja Vu Sans Mono. Okay. Now, if you want to go fancy, you can try some of these, Julia Mono. But anyway, that's my recommendation. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Let's see how many people are watching. So I think that's it for today. YouTube live stream. What is this? Okay, live. 13 people watching. 11. Okay, bye guys. Anything else? Okay, it's already 1 hour, so that's it for today. Close. We shut down in 1 minute. Okay, so I'm gonna close my things. Close my things and put links to my website, to my talk show page. Close. Okay, so talk show page, we post links to what we talked about here. Thank you. So math blog, okay, we don't need to talk about that. Keyboard blog, yeah, that's okay. Font we talked about. Let's put font here. So font articles, so many. So here, that's very interesting, important concept, metrically compatible fonts, okay? If you guys into design, you should read it. It's the most important concept, but it's not popular. Let me simply explain this one, okay? Now, on website, you see, so for example, so if I go to my CSS here, okay, and if let's say I want to change my font to serif, okay, so font size 18, okay, let's leave it be. Now font body, let's say serif, okay. Now go back to browser and refresh. Oh shit, they become smaller. Why is that? Did I touch font size? No. And why the fuck my font becomes smaller? All I want is just serif. That's an issue, okay? So when you web design, you think, oh, font size, let's leave it. I just want a different font. Well, the problem is the font actually changes size. The size depends on the font. So what does font size exactly mean? Let's look at CSS spec. I'm an expert, on web dev. I'm a programmer. Let's go to www3 or let's look up CSS spec. What is a font size? Why does it happen? It turns out font size is a fuzzy idea back from there, meaning of font size, back from the metal typeset, Font size is just a design box, okay? For example, these two, you can see one of them is bigger M than the other, but they have the exact same font size. Why? Because the meaning of font size is just an arbitrary box that the designer of the font created. So it has nothing whatsoever to do with actual font size. It's just an imaginary box. so this blue box is the font size, okay? But the actual word can be like tiny, or sometimes you can go beyond the font size box, okay? That's how things are. So the font size, it's like, it doesn't mean nothing. So what can you do? Well, so this is one of the issue. You look at these CSS gurus, design gurus, the idiots, very popular, 1 million followers or whatnot on Hacker News or whatnot. Oh, I work at Google. I'm a guru, design guru. I design for Facebook. I'm a Microsoft, what they call the Microsoft, what they call it, metric, it's what is the word that designed Microsoft Windows 10? These pretty white boys on stage telling you about their design jargons, bunch of idiots. So you look around, nobody, very rarely, almost none, will tell you actually these issues. But all these gurus, that's the thing. Okay, that's it for today. So let's change back. Okay, change back, and I don't want to screw up. Bye.